Well, guys, I hope you're ready for tonight. Welcome to episode 92 of the Drag Driver Pete Show, presented by Summit Racing. Guys, Drag Driver Pete said we're your source of news and entertainment, the drag and drive community, and it is no more apparent than tonight on this show. We're talking about PRI 2024, second largest automotive trade show in the world. The Grabiacs will be on. That's going to be a fun one. We're giving them a whole hour, and we're probably going to go over. So get comfortable. So, Mr. Eric, we hit the intro video, and let's kick this thing off.
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna pack things up and hit the road and try to make it the next day.
Perfect. Well, guys, my name is Mike Narks. I'm the host of the Drag Driver Pete Show and the Drag Driver Pete News, and really live, breathe, sleep, eat everything drag and drive. And I love you guys. Just want to say that we're getting down to the end of the year, man. I'm thankful for this craziness. Mr. Eric White, my right hand man, introduce yourself. Tell them what you got going on, man.
I am Eric White, the co-host of both the show and the news. Right-hand man means pretty much anything drag driver Pete related, circuit related, helping other events with artwork, racer profile pictures, stuff like that. And lately, it's been a lot of photos. So just wrapped up Drag Week photos, and we'll talk a little bit about PRI photos, but those will start dropping tonight after the show.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. We're actually going to go through a few of those here on the show. And guys, I didn't even look at those. I didn't even peek at them. So you guys are going to see them at the same time I do. Well, guys, we can't do this without you guys. Our race car friends are, I mean, that you guys are what makes the world go round. That's for sure. We appreciate you guys and all you do. Please hit the share button as we get into this episode tonight. This is going to be a fun one. Again, we have the Great BX on. We have Matt Lang on. This is going to be fun. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. And of course, our sponsors got a chance to really talk to them at PRI. That was a lot of fun to catch up with all those folks. So, Summit Racing, thank you. Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, who was in our booth with us. That was really cool to have Chris there. Performer Built Transmissions, Howard's Cam, Sweet Patina, J Wire Solutions, Racing Junk, and Power Tube TV. You guys are all awesome. You make all of this stuff go around and all this world work. That's for sure. So, thank you for the incredible year. All right, Summit Racing. I don't know if you know this, but their speed legacy began in 1968 as a one-man operation and is now the world's speed shop with 4 facilities and 200 plus catalog editions. Summit fuels your passion. They save you money and offer top-notch customer service on more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, or you can tune into the On All Cylinders podcast for more automotive discussions like this. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. They also stand by your need for shade with the new Drag Driver Pete hats. Do you like how I worked that in there?
Yeah, that was pretty slick. Almost
Yeah.
as slick as those hats.
I'm telling you, dude, $17. Man, listen,
That's
if
a
I don't
deal.
see some of them at Sick Week, I'm gonna be pissed. That's pretty cool, man. I want to say thanks to Summit for obviously helping us. Man, this is cool that they offer our products on their website and in their catalogs and all that kind of stuff. So again, when you're buying those parts, looking for that special part for that special person, jump on there, summitracing.com, drag driver Pete. You can jump on there. Hoodies. I thought I was wearing my hoodie tonight. I am not, but hoodies, t-shirts, and now shade bearing hats. So pretty cool, man. I want to say thanks to them for that. And then PowerTube TV, got to hang out with those guys, like a 2-hour live stream on Saturday morning at PRI. Man, got to interview a lot of new shows that are coming out on their app. And again, it's a great creator area. We're in the content creator development program. So essentially, we get to lean on Ray and Brian's years and years of knowledge and grow our stuff on this side with that knowledge, but also they provide a content outlet for fans of ours and new fans for them to find us. We actually play replays of this show on that every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And then a lot of exclusive content is going to be coming in 25. We gave them a few things in 2024. 2025 is a whole different level. We're excited to provide stuff for them over there and continue to help that brand and app. He called it something. It's free with advertising, streaming television, or something like that.
It was the acronym was FAST. Remember that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something like that. So again, it's a free app. It's like Hulu or Netflix or anything like that, but it's car stuff all the time, all day, every day, 6 or 7 different channels on there. They have a podcast, they have a build, they have news, they have all kinds of different stuff. So anyway, check it out. PowerTube TV. You can find it at watchpttv.com or just search PowerTube on your app store. All right. Well, we're going to play the Howard's Cams community segment, and then we're going to bring in our guest for the night, our second guest for the night, the Grabiak family, the awardees. I don't know what you call them, recipients of one of our ambassadors of Drag and Drive for 2024, and they probably should have been getting this for the last 10 years. So play that, and then we'll kick it off.
All right, let's do it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harris from the Monoxide Podcast. Real quick, Howard's Cams was founded as a racing cam manufacturer almost 80 years ago when Howard Johansson created Howard's Power and Racing Equipment in 1945. Howard's Cams has always used on-track experience to design the most powerful designs, and today they have an even greater group of experienced racers in circle track, drag racing, road race, mud bog, and marine. They use all this input plus the most advanced computer software to design the most competitive race-winning products. From pioneers in drag racing and oval track to cutting-edge marine development, Howard's Cams is at the forefront of the industry. So make sure to reach out to our friend, Luke B, for your next valve train upgrade.
All right, before we bring him on, I want to talk about some nerdy stuff here. So one of the reasons that I like them so much is they're a blast. They're a ton of fun. But one of the reasons they were awarded this is because the community that they create, the community they bring with them to events. So I started looking back. How many events have these guys done? When did they start? All that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you guys to understand, there has been a Grabiak name on an entry 26 times since they started doing this. Okay. They've done Drag Week. They've had 14 entries in Drag Week since they started. In 2024 alone, there were 8 entries with a Grabiak last name.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome. Sick Week a couple times, Midwest Drags 10 times at Midwest Drags. Crazy. These folks, they push everybody. They're not scared to get in and get dirty, as you will see throughout the pictures that are in here. I think 92% of the photos that are in here we're going to scroll through are somebody working on an engine at some point during their drag and drive adventures. We lost the camera for them. I don't know what's going on there. I saw them just a second ago.
Yeah, I did too.
I bet it died. I bet the battery died. They've been backstage waiting. See if can we hear you guys?
Yeah,
nope.
Right there.
So,
hold on.
There
you go.
Now it's a party.
We had to hit the button.
That's awesome. Well, guys, welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys coming on. I'd love for you to kind of just run through from Jay to the other side there and tell us who you are and what you drive.
So obviously most people know me, but Jay Grabiak. I drive the 1955 Chevy. We named it the Gray Ghost years ago, about 19 years ago to be exact. And that's what I generally use. And then I have that 67 Nova that most everybody knows that I won. It was a giveaway car for the Midwest Drag. So I use both of those cars for my drag and drive usage.
And then Miss Tanya.
Okay, I'm just mom, but yes, Tanya Grabiak. I have an 88 Firebird. I have not done any of these events myself because I'm mom. I'm usually taking care of everything else, kind of supporting everything they do. But I'm still passenger and get to help out and work on the cars and keep everything going.
Oh yeah, there's some photos in here of you wrenching on stuff as well.
Oh yeah, I help.
I'm Riley. I have a 1937 Chevy Coupe, green. I've run multiple drag and drives now, from Midwest Drags to Drag Week, and then I've also helped at Sick Week, and I also help co-pilot with both the other two also. So.
And I'm Tim Grabiak. I have a 1968 Camaro. I do all the events just with them and stuff. Kind of new to it. So I only have, 2 events in my car, but hopefully a lot more to come.
Oh yeah, for sure. So one of the first pictures that Jay sent was this one right here, and you can see just how young you kids are. Tell us what year this is.
That picture there is, I know that one real well. That, I believe, was 21 before the award ceremony. That was right after I wrecked my car. That shows you how happy I still was.
Yeah.
So they were young. They look young. They get their good looks and their youngness from their mother, and I get all the age, and the stress. But in Timmy's defense, I got to go back to that real quick. This isn't only his second event. He's, I think it was in 17 or 7. She came with me in 17.
So it would be
18. We had to put him in the back of the 55, sitting down on the aluminum panels in a blanket, and just tell him to keep his head low the whole week, so no one really bitched about him being in the car. Obviously, he had a wristband. He was a legal passenger, but the safety factor, maybe I shouldn't talk about on the air. So some of the people were laughing,
We just checked on him.
We just checked on him. They were making sure the exhaust fumes didn't get to him.
Yeah, I think you sent over a photo, and I don't think I put it in here, but it's him. It's him through the bars, and he's back there like just asleep.
Well, that's a general photo that people that follow us on our Facebook or social media, Riley and I will post pictures. Tim goes anywhere. It could be the loudest car in the world, and he's still sleeping. And we get worried about him just driving his own car if he's going to fall asleep. We have to keep checking on him and stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same kind of passenger. Anytime I get still for any length of time at all, I'm out.
Yep.
That's definitely how he rolls. So we don't like to make him a driver a lot. Our lives depend on being him being awake if he was a driver. So
That's awesome. Well, tell us when all this started.
So all of this started for me. My first event was in 15, but as everybody that follows along with the drag and drive, the OGs or whatever you want to call them, drag and drive's been around forever since the inception of it. 2007, as most people know, was I was friends with Steve Roth over the years. In 2007, him and Denny Terzic won for going the first 7-second average for that. Steve only lived over the hill from here, so he was like a local icon and stuff. And then you follow, social media wasn't what it was. So here we are today with the social media and the following. Back then, you had to know things or catch a glimpse of it in a magazine or someone say, hey, listen, they'll be coming through here. Well, that happened in 2010. Drag Week came through and came to Pittsburgh Raceway Park, and which is now Keystone Raceway. So me, my buddy Eric, and another friend of mine, Mike, they do the drag and drives with me. And the part of the crew that we run with, they have been bitten and always loved this stuff. We went and watched the racing, and that was actually the first event for my 55 because I drove it there. But while we were there, we ran into my buddy Dan Chisholm, the Chisholms and Stasiak car that have won multiple B-Gas classes, or races, I should say, over the years. So met him, and he's like, you guys need to do this. And I said, yeah, but it's for fast cars. I always thought it was for fast stuff. He's like, they got all these different classes. You got to do it. So from then on, it was me and Eric and Buck's thing, like, hey, listen, we got to get something together and just go do this and enjoy this. So 15 was my first year. 13 and 14, I wanted to come, but I had family weddings to be involved with and to go to. And then 15 was the year that I had started, and with my brother in one of those pictures, we had endured the last minute thrash, getting the car on the road, and came away with second place. He now, I don't think he doesn't return my calls, and he never comes with me anymore. So
He said, "No more of that, please." Leave me
yeah,
alone."
he's probably watching now, going, "Oh, I don't want to ever do that again." But I'll get him back in the car. He's been he's my ride or die guy. You know what I mean? So he gets first option to not be in that passenger seat. So 15 was it, and from there on out, you know, it was going to be a one and done. But it's like, man, if I do this again, I can go a little faster. Maybe I can do this. I had such a blast. I met these people, and it's such a blur. And then every year you get a little bit more inept to what's going on and meeting people and talking and like, that ain't no big deal. We're a couple 100 miles today, a couple 100 tomorrow, you know. And as everybody knows that's watching this, it just happens, and then you're stuck, you're bitten, and it's a great form of racing and a great way to meet people, you know. So
Yeah, it becomes a reunion anymore,
It
especially for
really
the guys
is.
that have done it as long as you guys.
You know, like you said, it's a reunion when you get there.
It's almost like another family.
Yeah, it truly is, you know, and the social media part of it, you know, to be able to communicate with the people that live cross country, you know, you get some bantering and some bullshit from each other, and then you get there and it's a hug and like, hey man, how you been? Oh, I saw the kids are growing, they're this, and you know, hey, I saw you did this to your car, you know, to them, and you know, it's just like you haven't missed a beat, you know, it's like you live together, you know, around each other at all times. So it's a truly great way to meet people through these events, and everybody's so friendly. I think I've probably said it a million times. People have heard me say it a million times. You know, you go to a local racetrack, everybody's cutthroat and wanting to not tell you a secret, or you know, bracket racing. It's kind of cliquey a little bit. But you come to these events, people aren't worried about the racing. Everybody's got their own agenda. They want to, you know, you got your own guy that you're trying to you know, manipulate out of the thing or get your best ET, and so the next thing you know, they're worried about their thing. But if you need something, they're helping you. They're there for you. They're still high-fiving you, you know, hoping to see you do good, and they want to see you at the hotel with them. So,
Well, and I think that's one of the best things about this for guys that listen. We're all busy. We all got kids. Time is away from us, right? So when you're out there and you have that, now you have like a group of 300 other like-minded individuals that are willing to pull over anytime, anywhere, and give you anything that they've got, so you can make it to that next track, so you can keep moving along with the herd.
yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's where that thumbs up, the thumbs down comes into play. You know, people, you're driving along and everybody wants to stop, and if you don't put that thumbs up, chances are you're getting 10 people, you know, stop it, whether you want it or not. Like, no, go. Are you sure? You know, and there's a whole line of traffic behind them. You know, so that's a very key part of, you know, everybody wanting to help. And if they got something, you know, whether it's a, you know, quart of oil or a whatever, or a bottle of water, they're giving it to you, keep you moving.
Yeah.
You know, so it truly is. If once you do it once, and everybody that's done it once, you know, unless you had a really, really bad experience at it, you're coming back. You know, if you didn't make it, you're going to fix your car and make it better, and you're going to come back the following year thinking you know exactly what you need to do to get through the week. You know.
Yeah. One thing that's fun for me on the stat side is to see those guys that just did one event 8 years ago and have never been back. I'm like, dude, how does that happen?
Yeah, I know a guy. Love the guy. I mean, we're best friends, and he did it, and he broke, and then he said, "I'm coming back. I'm gonna do it again." And he broke, and he says, "I'm done," until he really gets a car that he feels comfortable in. And every year he's like, "I'm coming back with you. I'm coming back with you." You know, so we'll see. You know, sometimes it's deterring. But another time it is what it is. You've got the week off work, shit happens, and you just move forward, you know. You trip away, and hopefully you're not the furthest point away from your truck and trailer at that point. You know?
Right. And if you are, you're getting a ride. Well, real quick, Isabella says Jay interviews like a champ, since he's usually telling us hotel horror stories while half drunk by the fire. So this is a fitting photo here. You know, you get interviewed by Mike Finnegan.
Yeah, so that was while we were there. But real quick, back to Bella, her and her family her and her dad and her sister are great people. Her mother, I don't know. She's probably watching. But they want to do these in the worst way. So my way to get the family to do it is, I get Isabella, I get her all revved up, She's a young bracket racer. The whole family's bracket racers from up our track and other local tracks. Great family, great racers. I mean, and they want to nibble on this, they want to nibble and they're building a car and then they don't want to go. So she's the age where she can drive. So I'm just trying to lure her in, If I get her, then the mom and dad and the other sister they have to go.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
That's
Sorry
awesome.
about that. If I got sidetracked, I just had to give her a little shout. She's great.
Jay, sidetrack never.
Yeah. So, but yeah, with the Finnegan thing, that was a great thing that happened with putting the car back together for 21 to find out, get an email about that. Like, hey, do you want to be involved in videoing? And I'm like, who is sending me this video, or this email? And then I'm going through, I'm like, well, they know everything about Drag Week. They know the sign up. They know this, they know that. And here it was Chris Reed, their producer for that.
Wow.
And great people, great guy. It was an opportunity that was really cool to be a part of. And through my years, I've had a lot of great opportunities through the people I've met and been around. Obviously, most people know and still jack me around Street Outlaws, now the Finnegan thing, and now your podcast and being an ambassador, the family being an ambassador. So Kevin Jackson and the rest of them, they just don't leave me alone.
It's tough, man. Next time I'm going to need you to sign something on my chest.
Well, so what I did is I started signing so much stuff anymore. Mike is I've been working on my prison tattoos, and so far with the ink that I'm using, I've only given 2 people infections. So I'm pretty sure by the time I get to you, it's going to be permanent, and you'll be all right.
Perfect.
Question here says, love the car show sign and trophy on top of the Willys. Where did you win that one?
Well, that's obviously was that Little Deuce Coupe 79. That's Kevin Jackson. So there's a long story with all the car show stuff. I don't know if I should want to chew up all your time, but as everybody knows, and this started from Ross and Kevin Dunn and the group of us. So as you pull into a gas station, you're on these events, you're on the road, you pull into a gas station, the first thing people ask you, is there a car show somewhere? Where's the car show? So we're going to hell for this, but we're like, yeah, actually there is. You know where the Dollar General's at? They're like, yeah. Well, you want to make a right at the Dollar General down the road, because there's always a Dollar General. And you're going to go down to the church, and there's a church, you make a left, and you're going to go back in there, and there's a parking lot. Yeah, I know where it's at. They're having a car show today, and there's free hot dogs, and right now we're on the poker run a part of it, and then we're going to be there in about an hour. And you wouldn't believe people like, we'll see you there. And we're just like, oh,
Yes.
my, So it's been going on for years now. We actually have other drag weekers that will be, or any event, drag weekers or drag and drive guys, as you'd say, is they'll be pumping gas and they look over like, what are they telling those people? And they're laughing, So, but the car show signs were for 66. Kevin had a little thing at his house. So we didn't make it there on time, but he made trophies for everybody, because Kevin says everybody, I'm always a trophy winner, and we're going to car shows. And so it's just an inside group joke that we all, endure or hold close to our hearts. We all try to outdo each other with the better story. I mean,
Right. He was asking, how many car show trophies do you actually have?
Well, you know what?
Question.
I was going to put them all up there, but it's a fiberglass car, and I don't want to structurally damage it. I'll send them pictures later.
Nice.
Well, why don't you kind of run through the fleet of cars that you currently have?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. Well, Tanya's here, so I could get a cut out a couple of them.
Yeah, there's some she might not know about yet.
Yeah. We have a multitude. I've been collecting cars, as everybody, but I've had most of my cars since I was in my mid to late 20s, and I'm going to be going on 52. So, I mean, the multitude, the cars that we have, the 31 Ford, we got the 33 Willys, which is going to be a project for us. We have the 39 Chevy, the 37 Chevy, the 47 Ford, the 51 Chevy, the 66 Chevelle, the 55 Chevy. What else am I missing? The 88 Firebird, that's a Formula low mileage car that's now Mom's car. And I'm trying to think, what else do we got? Timmy's 68 Camaro. just a bunch of stuff, and bikes. You know, we're into motorcycles, Harleys, sports endurance bikes, and a lot of those cars that were project cars. This hobby or addiction, whatever you'd like to call it, doesn't afford you to have a lot of them around. So most of them are expendable they're sold. Most of that stuff. So what we have now is the fleet of cars that for right now that the kids will.
True drivers.
Yeah, the true drivers, and we'll be
Wow.
doing something with.
They're all like family cars.
They're all family cars. Yeah, they all have a story behind them. You know, and we've had them for a long time. And there's, you know, it's like she said, family cars. So, except for the 31 Ford, the Model A Coupe. So that's my personal one. And Timmy said that he'll get it when I die. So, and that can be arranged. So,
Oops.
yeah. So, but the 66 is what we took on Route 6, or the 66 Chevelle is what we took on Route 66. It's a great driver, big block car. You know, we loaded up in it, went 4,184 miles cross country, didn't kill each other or anybody around us. And so it was, you know, those, you have a car. I hate to say you got a car for everything. We got our drivers, we got race cars, and then we got the cross country car, I guess you could say.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I know it sounds like it's a lot, but I don't have a ton of money tied up in all of them. If you ever see them, they're all a little rough around the edges, but I like my stuff that way.
I say, I
I
don't
forgot.
know.
And I totally forgot about the Nova, the 67 Nova, the free car. Jeez.
Right. Hang on. Yeah, let me get to this shot here. So tell us the backstory on that.
So anyways, well, the 67 Nova was the Midwest Drags. 2000 would have been the 2020 giveaway car, but it was canceled. So in 21, they had the event, and there we were. I wasn't even there for the car, honestly. You know, there was people there, multiple entries. You know, Tina and Dave Pierce said that car was theirs. Still to this day, they tell me that car is theirs, and he doesn't take care of it. And he reminded me of PRI also take good care of his car. But I was there just because it was in my backyard. We got a group of guys, local guys from us, and you know, we all did it. And then here at the end, it was like I think 1 in 60 chance or something like that to win it. And I still didn't think I was gonna. You know, I wasn't there for that. I was happy to finish the week, to place with my car. As a matter of fact. Most of the guys, all the Pittsburgh guys, everybody placed. So we left there with a great showing. I think we took most of the trophies with us. Yeah, it was a great, and we left with the car. So truly, like I didn't win it. We all won the car. You know what I mean? It was a great experience, and the car has given me some opportunities and a lot of heartache. You know, just learning curve and some things. But the car is great, and it's been asked if I'd sell it a couple of times by some people, and that's a family car with a great story. You'd never be able to, you know.
Certainly cool and super clean. Love that car. Love to watch it. And dude, it runs. I mean, the last couple of times I've seen you 10-0s consistently.
Yeah, so like I redid the motor in it and did a couple things just to make it do the 10-0, and that's what I'm really happy with that car at. Like I got proficient, surrounded by a great group of guys. That are really good tuners, taught me the way. I'm a hammer screwdriver guy, and you know, and that was the biggest joke with it. Like, what are you gonna do with that? I'm like, I don't know. I'll get online. I'm gonna watch some things. And they told me, you know, watch Devin Vandenhoof stuff, watch Joe Simpson stuff, and I did. And then they brought me up. My buddy Jake put it on a dyno, gave me a crash course. We redynoed the car, you know, changed the tune just to make sure it was a little more streetable, and did some things. And then just wanted it to be a 10-0 car, just freshened the motor up, did change cam. And actually it was cool. Once we got Riley's car situated, I forget what year it was, 23 we was green. And then finally like, okay, you guys are good. It's my turn to play. Like, and then started just dialing the car in, going 10-0s, 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 and just, you know, manipulating the Holly in the car and making it really work. So I love it for that. And then I go to Sick Week and I run a really modest nitrous tune in it and go like 940s, 934, I think was the fastest. I have an 899.99 goal for the car the way it sits. You know? And then that's it. I don't want to race it any faster. It's a fun car. And it's a great index racer. I love it I like index racing, you know? So.
Well, especially when you can get one that goes that quick. And sounds great, looks great, all that kind of stuff, and super cool story.
Yeah, thank you. It is a great story. I'm blessed to have all the opportunities that I've had. Truly am. As much of an idiot as I can be, everybody around me knows I'm still happy to be, to be blessed with the stuff that we do. So, and my family, obviously. So want to be involved in it, sometimes it's a little bit of a headache, but it all works out in the end. So
how do you decide what car or cars you are bringing to an event?
Well, on that sense, their cars that you see, the 37 and the 67 or 68, that's their drag and drive cars. We built those cars, making sure fuel lines are moved. Everything's easily accessible. The stuff you got to buy, like any drag and drive, is going to be bought at Advanced Auto Parts, or it can be fixable readily easy. So if you do get stranded, it's a quick fix. So those are their drag and drive cars. And then the other cars they've acquired from me, they just taken their joyride cars more or less around town. And while we were talking about cars, I forgot to talk about my tow truck. My tow truck. People have seen the tow truck. The tow truck. I can say something. Yeah, the tow truck is probably one of our favorite. Yeah. So a badass tow truck, but it's just a beater that I had to pry out of a buddy of mine's hands. But that's kind of like what we all had our dedicated cars. The 55 was always my go-to car, and always will be until the 33's done. But they're cars that they can grow around and make their piece of history, I guess you say, or their I don't know, their future in the racing. They can start with these cars and either make them faster or move on to something else. As most people know, is once you get so fast with the cars and you got so much money into it, sometimes it is actually cheaper to just rebuild another car than it is to keep tearing a car apart to update rear ends and transmissions and other engines, because the stuff that you put in it really has no value to people. It's beat up, and what do you get for a motor? You just put a whole ton of money in. So it's better, in my opinion. We have the skill set, the knowledge, and to be able to just start a fresh project.
Well, and I think that's some of the fun as well. You end up with a whole new way to build a new car.
It is. You learn a lot.
You learned a lot, yeah, and then you get to use that on the new one.
This is what I want to do to this one. This is how I want to do it. This is where I want to move this bar or whatever. You learn a lot, and fortunate for me to be around a lot of good guys that do chassis and stuff, and a lot of knowledge, and my own personal knowledge. I get to pass that on to them. So now they're like my shop hands. I could just kind of sit back a little bit. They're like, hey, we moved that to here. We're going to weld this bracket here. And, Timmy's really proficient with the TIG. So it's like, hey, here's my idea. Run with it. I'm going to go see
and he's probably more limber than you are as well.
Well, yes, he definitely is. Even with Jeff Oppenheim has taught him some stuff. And now Jeff lets him just like kind of get into some bad spots. If there's someone's going to get hurt, we might as well let it be him. So
yeah, 100%.
So,
well, yeah. One of the folks you wanted to give a shout out to is definitely Jeff. I have a shot here that you sent me. Hold on, I'm almost there. I promise. So tell us. Obviously you guys are close because you live close. Jeff's he's an OG as well.
Yes, Jeff definitely is an OG. Great guy, as everybody knows, and I don't need to beat his own drum, but he was very instrumental in both the kids' cars when they wanted to pick up the pace and go faster. He's like, so what are you going to do? So we're going to put a roll bar in Riley's or a roll cage in her car to make sure it's straight, because her car doesn't weigh much. He's like, I'm bringing my bender. I'll be up, and he's like, I got some material laying around. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll get this. And then with Timmy, and then he comes up and he's like, here's what you want to do. He's teaching us, so he doesn't have to be bothered with it. He's just, come get my bender, So here's my tools. Tell me how it goes. And he comes up to help Timmy and taught him a bunch of stuff and very instrumental in this. I'm not trying to beat his drum, like I say. He knows it after we tell him. And so he was very instrumental in the last 2 years of getting the kids to be in a faster place, with saving us money to be able to do 3 cars at these events. To send a car off to a chassis shop to get a cage in is a lot of money. Not a lot, but you know what I'm saying. It's still something out of pocket. So we we learned a skill and we did it for the materials and tacos and pizza and stuff.
Lots of food.
Yeah, lots of food. Jeff's an eater, if you don't know that.
I knew I liked him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's a shout out to Jeffy. So.
Yeah, he gave me a tour around Pittsburgh, and we stopped once for food and once for ice cream, and we were only together for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like, we'll be in the middle of something. He's like, so where we eating? And
Yeah.
so here where we're at, we don't down in Pittsburgh. You know, there's all those, I don't know, like taco places and one-off food places, and then he comes up here at Greensburg, and it's all corporate stuff. And the people that do little restaurants, they're closed on the weekends. You know, it's 12 o'clock, and he's going through his phone. He's like, "You're not shitting. There's nothing to eat up here." And I'm like, "No, I told you. It's like." It's the tacos or Taco Bell or this chain Mexican place over the hill, or, you know, so he doesn't get much here. You know, he's to settle for pizza from down the street or whatever. So when people do go visit him, they love, Jeff takes you on a tour of, you know, everything. Everything. You know, people have just been overwhelmed and grateful to get that Pittsburgh tour from Jeff. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know you hit on this a little bit earlier, but who do you include in your Drag and Drive crew at the events?
Really, yeah, I mean, just the Kevin Jackson, Kevin Dunn, Eric Leutner, Michael and Nick Costello, you know, basically whoever wants to kind of join up. There's a few of us, you don't want the party to be too big. You know, and the guys that we run with now, we go to sleep, you know, we know we get up in the morning, we all have the same routine. One person's getting gas, the other one's getting snacks, the other one's on the, you know, we travel well together. So, you know, those are typically the go-tos that we have in our group. You know, and every event's a little different because sometimes they can't make it or they make it, the other one, Eric and Buck, can't make it, or, you know, so it bounces around. And we've had people jump in line with us and want to travel with us. And, you know, sometimes it's like, I've gotten to the point I'm like, listen, if we get split, you better have some kind of way to go. Cause we've done it for years. You start and stop. And you're adding hours to your day doing that. So, you know, it's generally just who travels the best is who all of us do. I don't pick and choose. It's just, if you fit in,
wants to join us.
if you fit in, let's roll. You know, if it's not for you, a lot of people want to stop and have a lunch, you know, like a lunch. And I'm like, yeah, we want to get to the hotel. We'll eat dinner. You know, we eat crackers and vitamin waters or just regular water.
Keep the hunger.
Yeah, keep the hunger. You stay awake. You know, makes you appreciate the end. So
Get you ready for that beer.
yeah, get you ready for the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, one of the other things we wanted to do was give 3 tips for new people that would be coming into or are coming into Drag and Drives.
3 tips. Just bite the bullet and do it. Don't think about it. You know, like don't I gotta do this, gotta do that. Yeah, a little bit of that, but get yourself there. Don't. My thing is, don't look to try to be the fastest in your class. If you've never done it, just look to complete it. Find where you fit. I always tell people, you might not be at the top of the class, you might not be at the bottom of the class, but if you're comfortable enough, play a game with who's around you in ET wise. You know, see if you can beat that guy out by a little bit. You know, don't chase the top guys or whatever for maybe your first couple of years or whatever till you're comfortable with it. Just be you and make it through the week. You know, you'll have a better time at it. My other thing is when you're building your car or you buy a car, look it over, know your vehicle, know what it takes to do it. If it takes a specialty tool, pack it because you're not getting it somewhere else. And if it takes a specialty part, pack it. We had a guy, I don't want to say his name because he'll be all over there, but you know, I got an alternator and it was an alternator that he bought off some Chinese company or something, and we couldn't find a match for it. So, so there we were stuck for 6 hours in the scorching sun because he didn't want to pack an extra alternator. He didn't think the new one he had would go bad. So my thing is, you know, make sure your car is right look it over, make sure most of the parts can be bought at an auto parts store, that if someone's willing to run for you if you can't make it there. You know, like you get outside help, you know, like everybody knows, you get another drag week or drag and drive guy. You know, what can they pick up for you or drive you to get? You know, what's that? That's like 2 tips. And, you know, enjoy yourself. You're there for a week. No matter what happens, it's not life or death. You're not going to die. You know, you're just going to have to, yeah, I see that. The bucket list, don't run mechanical injection. Ever since the day I met that guy, he ain't right. You should probably block him off of this. But,
he's been a guest before, man. We love those guys.
Oh, they are. Yeah. I met him the first year and, I'm like, that's mechanical injection and it's popping and banging. And I'm like, oh, you're going to make it. He made it, you know, and they're great people. But yeah, I mean, just make sure you go trip away and enjoy yourself. You're there for the whole week. No matter what, you're going to get to the end resort, the end place. It's just going to maybe take you a little longer. So, I mean, that's my takeaway from it. Do you guys have anything to say? I feel like I'm hogging the screen. I love to talk.
I think my only tip would be like on the enjoying part. Like I see so many people that just go to the hotel or like don't like make friends in a sense. Like come out and talk to us. Like we want to talk to people. I mean, I feel like all the racers really look forward to like at the end of the night, like cracking a beer, eating some pizza in the parking lot, like talking about your day, you know, talk about what's going on at the track. Hey, did you see this? I missed this. Cause I feel like you're always on the go. So you do miss so much. Like, you know, once you're on the road, you kind of miss that stuff that happened at the track when you weren't there, or even like when you're getting ready and stuff. Like now that I've got to do the racing side and kind of like just co-pilot or like spectator side, because I know for Sick Week, the one year me and her just kind of did our own thing and we're part of the ward. And it was like being on a mini vacation. I like didn't know what to do with myself. I got to watch racing all day. I got to hang out. I met like so many new friends, you know. And I just think that part sometimes like you don't get to do. So just enjoy it, you know.
Yeah, I think the parking lot beers is one of the biggest things that you can really, I mean, just take that time. Don't go into the hotel. There's been so many times, Eric and I talk about this all the time. I'll pull up somewhere and there's nobody in the parking lot. I'm like, y'all, it's 11 o'clock at night. What is happening? Everybody's in and asleep. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Stasiak pizza and beer on the hood of the. Yep, for sure. Kenny is the OG B gas driver in the Chisholm Stasiak car, but we've learned he's taught us his ways. He brings 2 different rags. We have the white rag and we've got the red rag. The red rag's for working. The white rag's for eating. That's your clean rag. You know, that's your. So yeah, we've had some great experiences. There's just so many times, you know, stories and stuff. But would you like to say what's your takeaway for advice?
Well, if you haven't touched a bolt on your car, I would like take it out and put it back in just to say that you've touched it and you know how it comes out, and make your car accessible from like if you have a jack, if you don't have a jack, any scenario throw in your head whenever you're building your car or making changes or whatever, because found if you don't, it's gonna bite you in the butt. So, and it definitely has a couple times for me. So,
Yeah, and I think, it's funny, you see we're getting to the point where we're seeing some real exotic combinations and things that are fit in cars that are going to be really, really tight, like Jess Havlick's Opal, and you start seeing big blocks and things like that. Like, man, just roadside repairs for that car, no thanks. I don't want to do that.
That real quick on that, Jess and Havlick's did an awesome job building that car, but the Nova, it's definitely not a roadside repair car. That's a tow truck to a beam, to a lift. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can fix, but if it's underneath, the header's got to come. It's a lift. It's got to be up in the air.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, Frank saying, Riley, don't let your mother do the directions.
Oh no, she's terrible at directions. It's not good.
That's not true.
Actually, she's learned a lot.
She's gotten
way better. But
in the beginning,
typically before we leave, I give her my plan route and I have everything mapped out and I show her how to use it all, and then she goes okay, and then she's got it. But yeah,
I've gotten better.
Directions in the family is definitely my forte. I feel
Yeah.
but normally I'm the one with all the answers. So I'm
She's
a
super fast.
Yeah, I'm a
She can-
planner for that. So like I love to sit before I leave and I'll map out everywhere that I need to go. And then I also like to know where I am gonna get myself into like parking situations.
That
'cause-
wasn't true on her first one. though.
No, good I've learned because my first one was terrifying.
For both of us. I
So-
handed her hood pins. She didn't put them in. I'm driving down the road. The hood goes, poof, flies. I'm like, Dave, what'd you do with those pins? She goes, I set them down. I said, why'd you put them in? She goes, you didn't say put them in. I'm like, oh, that's what you do with hood pins.
She said, he goes, Ryan just would have known. I said, well, I'm not Ryan. I didn't know.
We're leaving Cordova. My hood's going, whoa, it's flapping. I'm like, oh, no. Then the directions were a little messy. But
Yeah.
she reeled it back in. The next day, spot on, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you have to have that traumatic experience to do better.
Yeah, Timmy had his traumatic.
Yeah.
He thought he could do the directions in 21. And
He said he could do them better than me.
so we let him do it. And as you can see, he sleeps through all of them. So I said, well, pay attention to what your sister's doing because you want to do this tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Well, we let him go one extra day because he didn't pay attention. And then he got us sidetracked because the directions say make a left at a fork in the road. And I said, well, he's like, I think we made a wrong turn. I'm like, what do you mean you think? We went to the right. And he's like, well, I think that's where we should have made a left, but there was no fork. I'm like, what do you mean fork? And he's like, well, I don't know, it's Drag Week. I thought maybe there was like a fork, like we can take a picture with it. I'm like, no, a fork in the road, Tim, it's good.
Hey, you never know. It is Hot Rod Drag Week. It's
So,
you expect anything.
so now the joke is you just think there's a big fork, you know, in the road. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
That's gonna happen on Drag Week now. I'm gonna put a fork on the side of the road. And you guys will be passing me like, that son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, there's with any event, there's so many great stories, and as you sit down and you talk about them, it's like, whew, it's wow, we made it through it, but there are some great stories, 15, my gas tank broke a weld, and that's where I got to meet Mark Cicino and Greg Hurlbut and all them guys, like Jake Banner and Russo, like that group, the New Jersey, Long Island group or whatever. And man, my gas dripping everywhere, and ran a lady off the road, and she came back to the hotel telling me she's a great Christian lady, and they were telling me I should have told her that I was on Christian Mingles and this and that. But long story short, she called her husband, and she's all nervous. I told my husband this race car ran me off the road. He goes, leave him alone. I just seen them. They're doing Drag Week. Those guys are busy. They're not worried about you. And I put her like up over a curb and up in Cordova. So
Nice.
Yeah, just simple stories. But then the gas tank was leaking everywhere, and it was crazy. But I mean, just the stories and
It's always an adventure.
it's an adventure.
Always.
I've said that forever. It's definitely
Right. Well,
it is what you make of it too. If you go in open-minded and just laugh at everything, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
well, and again, like Riley said earlier, you're on vacation. Like, just enjoy the time. Well, I want to ask you, what do you think of the growth that the community has seen since you guys started this? I mean, like, really, like you came in 2015. You'd say you had 10 years of events before that. Now you're like in this second decade of drag and drive events. What do you think of this growth that we've seen?
I think it's incredible. I just think that it's keeps going on. I mean, it's everybody's getting involved in it. It's become a new platform for a lot of the social media people. But it's just it's crazy the growth of it. You had said, I was listening earlier while you're talking like PRIs. I was so excited just to go see the new cars. Ryan's car and all of those cars. Even Bailey's car this year, putting the wrap on it and the Houndstooth interior and shit. It was just neat to see the amount of drag and drive vehicles there versus some. I mean, there's plenty of room for everything, but it was just that's my forte. It's just neat to see all that. The unveilings of these cars, they're going to come and run, low sixes, high fives. They want to run. Goldstone's car is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I wouldn't even want to race that car. I walked around that car for probably an hour, just like you can't find a flaw in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gorgeous.
Well, I think it's also hard too because now there's so much to choose from. Like every time they announce a new one, we're like, "Ooh, that sounds fun. And then we kind of like sit and talk about it, and we're like, oh, well, we're doing this. We want to do this year. And it just, I don't know. We keep saying that we're going to slow down a little bit, but we're not.
No.
It just keeps, the list keeps getting bigger. And it's, I don't know.
Well, the idea between the slowing down was really, I mean, quite honestly, is like they're making this their lives. I wanted them to work on relationships with their girlfriends and boyfriends. They went and found their happy couples that love this.
And they want to keep going.
And they want to keep going. So I'm like, shit. Well, I guess we're back into this full tilt. So
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for them both to have boyfriend girlfriend partners that absolutely adore this. They were up here helping work on the 55. Can we come up and help? And they're learning stuff, and they're teaching them how to weld and grind, and so we got like our own little sweatshop going on up here.
They've helped us with 2 cars now.
Yeah, 2 of the cars. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's really cool as far as like building family time, but then also the trips that you guys are going to take as a group. Like, I mean, let's be honest, like Dragon drives are hard.
Yeah.
Doing this is hard. Building cars is hard. Going through all of that, the fights, the I hate to say, the quick remarks like that, just the jabs that you get in this kind of situation. Like that's good for people to get that stuff out of their body, and Dragon Drive does that for you.
Yeah, it definitely does. You get to wit's ends at some points, and sometimes just bite your tongue and roll with it because tomorrow's not going to be. It's a different day, and you got to move forward.
Yeah, you're 600 miles from home with somebody. You better get comfortable.
Yeah, you better really comfortable.
And I think we've all there's been times where we all walked away from each other and just take a deep breath and then regroup because, I mean, I know for a fact that we've all gotten irritated, with something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't walk away. The size of me, I get winded, and I just make them leave me. I'm like, leave. Dad's not walking. So.
But it can be definitely stressful because we've got, we have to tow. Sometimes you're towing 3 cars, or just even packing, getting ready. And we've pulled off a lot of very late, last minute things where we're trying to pack, and we plan on leaving at just, for example, 8 p.m. and it turns into we pull out at midnight. So those kind of things, and it can be stressful, but it all pays off in the end.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, and we do that, and it's not really by choice. We're generally busy doing other things. We're involved in other people's projects or helping other people, or we have businesses and stuff. Yeah, so we work a lot behind the scenes. You don't see that on Facebook. You see like, oh wow, they're away again, or wow, they're building another car. Well, yeah, that picture was taken at 3 a.m. too. Because we have stuff going on. And
hang on, you're letting the secrets out of social media. We can't be letting people. It's all roses and rainbows over here, friend.
Yeah, from what you guys see. Yeah, and I won't complain about it. I mean, I do. I love to complain. So that's my new next hobby because I'm getting older. Is complaining, and but I love it. You know what I mean? I love it. The people around me love it, and that's another thing with the guys we run with and the couples, people you meet. We're all just like, we can just, everybody knows how everybody is. And no one gets mad at anybody, but you just pick at each other just to get the rows out of them, and we move on and you laugh and, we go from there,
That's awesome. Well, let's wind down real quick. Listen, what I want to do is bring a microphone set up and just record some stories and fun stuff on the hood of the car while we're drinking beer and eating pizza at one of the events next year. That's kind of my goal with you guys. I'm going to do that a lot more this year, I promise. But I want to talk about the championship, the 10-0 plus champion points here. You missed it by 1 point. Being competitive with both cars running 10-0s, do you think you'll maybe chase that next year? Do you, a class win really probably would have put you there, to be honest?
Timmy or Riley or both?
You.
Oh, yeah. Me? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I might bring a car back out to do some 10-0 stuff next year. Quite honestly, I didn't really. I mean, I'm not saying like I gave a win up or anything, but all those other guys worked so hard at it. I was just happy to be there, and I might chase it a little bit this year. It's fun, but. Yeah, I didn't know I was that close to doing anything. I'll be completely honest. Like I don't look at that kind of stuff. I'm honored to be to get an award or whatever. But I'm truly grateful and happy to see somebody else get an award or watch my kids win. And people say, that's bullshit. It truly is. If you know me, that's the way I am. I love it. I could have given you the picture from the year that I won the 10-0 class at Midwest Drags. Those guys, we battled. I mean, I think I put 18 laps on my car that day, and I just beat the shit out of it. Just trying, because I didn't know. I'm no mathematician, I'm not figuring out every little. I need to do this. I just wanted to have that 10.000 again, not that 10.002 or 10.0. Like I wanted to be like. I think there was like a thousandth that split the differences or something like that.
Yeah,
but with that was I rounded the corner to turn my time slip in, and the two guys were just standing there, and they're like, they had beer, and they're like, well, and I'm like, I don't know, like let's see where we're at, and and that was the year that I decided to be a little competitive with it. And this year I didn't really try to be competitive with it because I was just happy to have them have their cars done. My car was done and keep it in one piece. But maybe next year I might entertain that. I really don't want to run the 55 too much more in the drag and drive events. I've got a different goal. I want to come back to the Gas Array class, and I want my jacket at drag week with that. I want to 850 that car all week long. I want to have a low average in that class and walk away. That's been my goal for the last couple of years. It's just been sidetracked. So the 10-0 game for some of the events might be a thing, and we'll see what happens as far as getting this one done for drag week.
Well, we love 850 stuff.
Yeah,
I know it may not be street race small block power adder, but we do love cars that run to 850.
In my class, the Gas Array class, that's Finnegan is in there, and Wayne Baker. There's other guys out there probably licking their chops that are different parts of the country, that are waiting to get in there, and that's where that class has really gone. If you're not running eights, mid eights to high eights, that's where you got to be if you want to win that class. That's my personal goal, and so the 55, I don't know if I really want to run it too much more. I'm not over the car. I love the car. I have different goals, and to come back and play some of the 10-0 index stuff is what I'd probably see me doing next year. So to answer your question, the more I'm talking about it, yes, that's probably what I'll be doing.
Well, I'll tell you this much. We're going to talk about it a lot more. Y'all, listen, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out. This won't be the last time that you guys are on here. There's so many stories. We didn't really get into anything. Like we didn't roll through pictures because I knew it would put us over and all that stuff. So I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for being welcoming to us, to Eric and I, and to the entire community. We appreciate you guys a lot.
Thank you guys for everything. Yeah. Thank the entire community. I mean, it's a great place to be. If you're not in this community, then I don't know.
Yeah, so, you're missing out for dang sure.
You're missing out for sure. Yeah, it's definitely there's a lot of good people. So, and a lot of knowledgeable people, so.
Yep. Well, hey, stay with us. Don't leave yet, but we're going to put you backstage and end the show real quick.
All right.
Man, listen, can we talk to those folks for another 3 hours?
I'm sure we could. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely want to do that. I'm going to talk to them for a few minutes and then we'll have them on later. I really want to dive into some of the stories they have, because this was really like top level, high level. How did you get started? What are some fun stories, and all that kind of stuff with them. So again, congratulations to them. Thanks to Matt Lang for being on tonight and telling the story. And we're talking about Back to the Streets. And I also just got a message from one of the very fast cars asking if we would do an exclusive interview coming up in the next few days with some breaking news for Drag and Drive stuff. And of course I said yes. So we're going to do that. I'll have more details on that as we come. But again, guys, next week, the last episode of the show for the year, we're going to be next Friday night. This is going to be crazy, episode 83. We're going to open it up to the floor. So maybe we'll have the Gravy X back on then and let them tell some stories. We'll come up with 2 or 3 different topics to cover at that time. I'm trying to get back to the photo here. Do we have 70 something photos on this?
Episode 93, not 83.
Oh yeah, 93. That's what I meant. Yeah. So next Friday night, we're going to do this for like 3 hours, at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just kind of get an idea of what you want to talk about, and we'll be doing that. But the last show of 2024, absolutely crazy. Can't believe this year's gone so quickly. But again, thanks everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the crazy amount of comments we had tonight. Mr. Eric, do you want to send us out, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
There you go.
So, as always, we want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks to all of our race car friends. Like Mike had just said, the comments were crazy tonight. Views were up. So, I appreciate everybody jumping in. And couldn't do it without our sponsors, Summit Racing Equipment, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Perform Built Transmissions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, J-Wire Solutions, Racing Junk, and Power Tube TV. Guys, we will see you on the next episode.
All right, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.